Grand evening. Hello. You can't see me from there. Okay, not close enough. Let me just, I can just move back this way a little bit. Right, it's making me in effect. Oh yeah, you just wait there. What do I want to talk about? Well, I want to address a couple of things, a couple of posts that were. One was made about 3 months ago on Facebook. And one of the comments on it, well, the comment that I'm referring to was this notion of the people were saying that they were they're always interested to hear what it is that I might have to say, but they were noticing a latent, I think it was anger, latent anger. That's very much a Les Dawson type chord, maybe. It wasn't actually proper. And also, about 18 months ago, around the time of George Floyd, I think it might have been, and I was asking the question about whether it was right, what happened to George Floyd, and the rationale, the politics and etc. around that, whether morally and ethically it was right or wrong. And I was posing and actually stating in some respects that I felt that was part of the confusion, is that people weren't able to discern whether or not what happened to George Floyd was right or wrong. And that's not a recent thing for me, as far, as I look over history. It's a historical thing that people don't seem to get the idea that maybe, I don't know, slavery, if it existed, it does exist, but the transatlantic slave trade, which I don't believe existed at all, not in the form that we've been told as a narrative. Whether or not, if it did, whether or not it's right or wrong. Okay, we don't seem to be able to grasp that. So one of the things that was said around that time to me, which befuddled me a little bit and irritated me quite considerably, and maybe a contributing factor to the latent anger that maybe people were talking about a few months back, was because the suggestion and the idea is that yes, people are accepting that racism exists and blah blah blah. People were telling me that things were better now at that time than they've ever been. Even though what I was presenting was an article in a newspaper and in the TV program on the BBC. I'm not a big fan of the BBC, but it was basically saying, and the people on the program, melanated people, were saying, things haven't got any better. Got a bit of a feedback thing going on here. So I was irritated on a number of fronts. One was that I was just putting an observation forward more than my opinion. And when I did voice my opinion, people were telling me about my experience, people were telling me that I was wrong, essentially, and where I might be right, people were feeling as though and stating that I was inciting racism and prejudice, and that I needed to not stop saying what it was saying, but that's what I was doing by voicing an opinion, possibly, but in presenting other people's opinions and observations about the state of relations, race relations at the time. And the most disturbing one for me, comment, was the idea that alongside that I was maybe inciting some prejudice or racism, being racist in saying what it is I was saying, was that if it was true, is that to wait, that we're not ready. We being at that time quite clearly the people that are perpetrators of these atrocities that have occurred to melanated peoples, George Floyd in particular, because it still continues, it still happens. In fact, the rates of that type of murder, there's no other way to put it, continues. In the UK too, we just don't hear about it. Now, that the idea is that until that, maybe I shouldn't talk about it as much, and we're not ready as a society to address some of the issues that are inferred in the programs that I was posting at the time and the articles that I was referring to and making comments about. So, and I said as much at the time, I didn't think that I didn't understand those comments at all. I didn't know what people would, well, I did get a sense of what people were asking me to do. It was basically shut up until, and don't say anything until Europeans, white Europeans, melanatedly light people, that I should wait until those people felt comfortable enough to be able to deal with the idea that maybe the kinds of things that happened to George Floyd and that have happened historically are wrong. To get your heads around that, get their heads around the idea, the possibility that it might not be okay. Despite people saying that it was happening to, i.e. me, and I'm saying things haven't changed that much, a bit more sophisticated, but the notions of racism still abound. Those attitudes still are very, very much alive. And how much longer are we to wait? We being melanated people, or those people that experience those kinds of atrocities that have been that they've endured over centuries, for generations, that we should wait. We should wait, and wait for what? For who to get comfortable. So, I just wanted to sort of bring that into a current, up-to-date context, and yes, maybe there was, and maybe there is, some latent anger. But wouldn't you be a bit annoyed when you realise that who you thought you were, who you've been in, and the people that have informed you of who you were, the people that have had control over the narrative of who you are, have lied about it? I don't know what else it is that I'm supposed to feel or think, or what do you want me to do with that once that starts coming out? And what do you want me to do with the fact that people have known about this? Nobody's come along to sort of challenge me in what it is that I'm saying about what it is to be British more. Nobody's challenging me about what it is that I'm saying about what I'm describing as the finders keepers doctrine, from the 1500s, the doctrine of discovery, the secret black codes, the treaty, the Noir codes, which was basically the Spanish Inquisition, and the secret treaty of Verona, which underlines the operations and that exists today. Nothing's changed as far it seems to me over history. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed, to say the least. And my level of annoyance is, I'd like to believe it's not going to get any more than that. Excuse the pun. And it's because I'm a British Moor, I consider myself a British Moor, that I have the class, decorum, sophistication to not be as brutal, not to be as narrow-minded, not to be as no, that's not piss about here. Not to be as wicked as to contrive something such as the doctrine of discovery, or have, so that no one knows about it, a secret treaty of Verona from the 1700s, refined again, and it's the basis of the 14th amendment in the Americas. Now, in the Americas, but the USA is a organization, is a company that was set up, that was created by the United Kingdom Crown Corporation, very similar to the East India Corporation. So, and all of these East India Corporation, and there was a Portuguese collaboration. Now these are all fronts to mischaracterize and misprison and to disavow and to dupe people into giving people, particularly indigenous peoples across the world, across the planet, to dupe them into giving up their birthright. Yeah, that's what's actually has been happening, and that's what's going on now. And in doing so, giving the UK Crown Corporation the opportunity then to lay claim to the land and the hereditaments and the birthrights of those people and those lands that they've conquered under the doctrine of discovery, to lay claim to them and to lay claim in such a way that it means that you take people's identities have been taken over. So the notion of monarchy, you know, everybody believes that monarchy is, you know, is an English or a British or a European concept. It is, but not by the people that are in that are monarchs at the moment. Those people are infiltrators. Those people are frauds. Those people have no legitimacy at all to the titles that they hold. None whatsoever. And they've taken those under force of arms and under operations that are underscored by the doctrine of discovery, the secret treaty of Verona, and the Noir codes. That's the basis of all operations that exist in the world. So I'm saying this to melanated people living here in the UK, living on the British Isles. I'm saying it to everyone that lives here. You need to get over it. It's not my opinion either. I'm not giving you my opinion. It's not my opinion. These are facts. You could check it out for yourself, do your own research, and you need to get over it. Yes, it's not my fault. I'm not happy about it either, actually, to be quite honest. I'm not happy because there is some latent anger, because I've believed what it is that I've been told, and I've been lied to. So what is there to be happy about when you've been lied to? I tried to play a dissonant chord there, couldn't do it. I'm not like that, you see. Melanated people tend to be harmonious. We like to do melanatedly rich. So yeah, there is a bit of later tango because not because of what's happened, not even because of the lies. It's the ongoing lies that have been told that really get up my nose. You know, people are, because I mention what it is I mention. I talk about it openly, and people go, yeah, we've known. Mother Hubbard is what I'm saying to that. So the amount of time that I've been here on the planet, and what it is that I've endured, what it is that I've had to go through, what it is that I've subscribed to, what it is that I've signed up to, has been essentially a fraud, and something to misguide me away from who it is that I am, in order so that you can rape and plunder my ass. And most guys not having it. I'm not having it. Not having it. So, you know, yes, there's a little bit of anger. What do I mean by not having it? I am calling you out. That's my job. That's my role in life. That's what I'm here to do. Yeah, I'm here to reclaim my birthright, and I'm encouraging those Moors, melanated people, or otherwise claiming nationality, because that is the only way we can avoid and step outside of the operations that are taking place right now, that have their history and their thinking and their roots in the doctrine of discovery, secret treaty of Verona, and the Noir codes. All operations, everything that's going on in the world today is rooted in those three documents. And as a consequence of that, all the international treaties that have existed since time immemorial, the UK Crown in particular, but also the USA, which is a colony of the of the United Kingdom. Yeah, it could be a chronic cough. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? It's one of those things that people are making money off, obviously, and people think it's okay to do these kinds of things. Yeah, these are operations that have been going on for far too long. It's time for a change. It's time for a change. That sounds so good. Melanated people need to get shit together. Need to get over yourselves with the idea of being British. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I'm just bringing forth the knowledge, the information, the facts. There you go. If you do not, you are not honouring your ancient mothers and fathers. Do the research. It's there for you to see for yourself. And there isn't much time remaining. Those that classify themselves and see themselves as English through and through, born and bred, all the rest of it, you've known this too, and you need to fess up too. You need to, what's the phrase? You will have to declare your gods and your goddesses, and confess. Not confess your sins. It's not that. I forget the phrase. But people are going to have to stand in their truth, the truth that they have lived by all their lives. This has been flopping down, hasn't it? It's going to continue to do so. So there's not much longer before I finish. 10 minutes. That's great. I'm going to leave it there. So if you do get a little tinkle. Oh, I like that chord there. so that's all I wanted to say about that. Everybody's going to have to get over themselves. I've had to. I had to get over myself and sort of say, look, okay, I'm more British, I'm indigenous to these lands, so my forebearers, prove it. I can prove it. I can show you, you know. How can you come? My mum came here to the UK and in her passport, which she had to pay to relinquish and pay the British High Commission, I think it was, to issue her with a United Kingdom passport. Okay, the British passport she's described as a subject, and she had that on her arrival. How can you be a British subject if you're supposed to be in another country? You see, it tells you what the British Empire, what that word means now. And the jurisdiction of the British Empire. I'm not saying the Caribbean or those islands off the continent of America, Central America, I'm not saying that those islands are part of the British Empire. I'm not saying that at all. But I can guarantee you this, there was a treaty between certain countries in the continent of America. Yes, I said that. There are countries in the continent, on the continent of America, and in Central America too. All those states or estates are actually territories, some of them, and they've got their own constitution. Some of those constitutions they had with the British Empire. Okay, but do your research. I'm not making it up. I'm not saying I've got all my facts right, but close enough, believe me. So, without further ado, not played in a while. So, yes, till the next time, may your ERP remain strong. British Moors, melanated people, get over yourself, sharpish. Get over the idea that you're not British. Yeah, that you're not in the land of the covenant. You're not of the land of the covenant, and that you are not a man or woman of the covenant. Okay, rather than a UK citizen. Do your research, check out the distinction between the two, know what it means to stand in either. Watch out.